Engagement is not a single feature, but rather an integrated system, where a core loop is powered by challenge, skill, and reward. And it hints that good game design is really about shaping that loop so players keep moving forward naturally. That is exactly what the 4 pillars of the player motivation explains, with engagement built on 4 layers. It starts with basic psychological needs, then moves into the challenge loop, the learning curve, and finally the sandbox of emergent play. The message is that lasting engagement is engineered from the inside out, starting on Pillar 1, and learn why motivation is the most fundamental level of player engagement. Autonomy, competence, and relatedness work together to create intrinsic drive, and the visual makes that clear by linking each need to choice, mastery, and connection. When those needs are met, players stay engaged for reasons that go beyond rewards. Let's move on to Pillar 2, and you have already seen probably this diagram, where the flow channel sits between boredom and frustration, and the chart shows why challenge has to track skill over time. Dynamic difficulty systems are one way to keep players in that productive middle zone without making the experience feel forced. This example reframes flow for a harder, more resilient style of play. The comparison shows that in Souls-like games, pressure and setbacks are not removed, but transformed into a rhythm the player can learn. The result is a kind of engagement that comes from persistence, precision, and earned mastery. Using correctly, this concept leads to the fact that intense gameplay can crowd out everyday stress. The before and after drawing suggests that when a game fully occupies attention, outside worries lose space to compete. That is why some players describe difficult games as mentally clarifying, rather than merely stressful. Let's analyze a practical design pattern and turn friction into motivation by giving players a tool they first have to earn. The 3-step sequence shows challenge, acquisition, and then application. So the reward is not just possession, but the new ability to solve a problem that previously felt impossible. The Pillar 3 sets the focus on the zone of proximal development, where learning is strongest. Players are shown moving from what they can do alone to what they can do with support, and the gap narrows through practice. In game terms, good systems guide players just enough to make progress feel self-driven. Based on this principle, mastery is not a switch that flips on all at once. The skill curve rises gradually across training hours, and players shift from beginner-friendly tools to more demanding strategies as they improve. The broader lesson is that progression should evolve with the player, not stay static. Here, the idea is that one simple action can expand into a whole expressive toolkit. A basic jump becomes a family of movement and combat options, and that progression changes how players think. Instead of executing commands, they start designing their own style of play. Final pillar, number 4, that shows us in thinking on systems over fixed content. The left side feels linear and disposable, while the right side invites players to create, discover, and define their own goals. The design takeaway is clear. Open verbs and flexible rules produce more replay value than a tightly scripted path. The equation on this slide captures how emergent stories are created. When expressive systems interact with unpredictable competition, the result is not just replayability, but new scenarios that feel authored by play itself. The player becomes part of the storytelling engine. This final concept ties creativity to a shared language of objects and meanings. The example suggests that when a game gives players an intuitive grammar, they can combine pieces without needing a manual. That lowers friction and turns experimentation into a natural, almost immediate form of problem solving. Finally, we can bring everything together into one loop. Engagement leads into flow. Flow drives learning, and learning unlocks better tools for more emergent play. From that perspective, the goal of design is not to add isolated features, but to sustain a cycle that keeps generating new reasons to continue. I hope that you have liked this content, and if so, don't hesitate to subscribe and like the video. See you in the next game design concept explanation.